Hello and welcome to another edition of It's Okay with Tam Tam, and we have our guest, Brianna, my oldest biological daughter. So let's get to the logistics out of the way first. Please like, follow It's Okay with Tam Tam on Facebook, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, It's Okay with Tam Tam. We will not we'll be on today, but then the 2 weeks after that, the 24th and the 31st, will not be on because Brianna has some events going on with school because we are about to graduate high school, so we won't be on. And again, I apologize for the lighting fiasco because of we're packing up to move. As you know, I have 1,000 things going on in my life. So I have invited Brianna to come on and stop moving the chair. I have invited Brianna to come on and talk about kind of high school. As you know, I have been under a lot of stress and anxiety, and I feel that high school itself is a lot of stress and anxiety, well, causes a lot of stress in their life. And being that they went through a lot of stuff, I'm sure that all the stuff that's going on worldwide has affected that as well. So, are you excited about graduating?
Sure, I guess. It's just I don't know because I see everybody crying, and I'm like I'm not gonna cry to the last week of school. But you see everybody crying, and I'm like,
Why do you think people are crying?
was it? They feel like they're not gonna see them again, and they make stronger connections, and like it's just like all the people I've made friends. It's like, and it's mostly choir kids because they're like from all over the place. But all the people I've really made friends with, I've known them forever, and then like a lot of them are coming with me.
Brianna
So
has a
if I
huge
go
benefit.
there,
Brianna has a huge benefit. She has gotten accepted to UNT, University of North Texas, um, which we are still working on trying to get more money because I don't understand how this worked out with her grades and her talent. But anyway, long story short, there's a group of kids that she went to middle school with. Then they went to high school, and the significance of it is like her high school. There's no neighborhood kids. It's a magnet school. The whole school is a magnet school, so it's not like you have some neighborhood kids and you have some magnet kids. Every person at her school had to audition to get in that school, and you had to be accepted. That was it. So she has a group of friends that were in middle school. They have gone to high school with her, and they're going to be probably most of them are going to the same college, and the few that are not going to the same college are going to um, universities that are close by. So that's, I mean, because I know when I went to college, I didn't know anybody when I went. So that's a huge benefit. But nonetheless, when you got to Booker T, is your freshman year, and Booker T is a very They're a pretty tough school. People think because it's a performing arts school that their academics is not important. They are very strong on their academics. And how was it your freshman year, would you say?
The first day of school was awful.
First day of school was awful. So, um, some people may not know. Her first day of school, she was so excited because she got into Booker T and she was going into Booker T. And at that time, Miss Erica Badu's daughter was there, and she was one of the first people she met at the school, and so she got to hang out with her. And she came home to me having to tell her that I had a miscarriage and I had lost her baby sister. So that was rough. I mean, like the whole excitement, and then that just kind of wiped away. But after that,
I had to go to school the second day of school, and that was bad.
yeah,
And nobody knew because I just was extra happy. Tried to be extra happy.
yes, Brianna is like her mother and like to cover up her feelings when she's feeling sad.
It's the second day of school. You can't be crying on the second day of school. They're gonna be like, "Who is this?" Nobody gonna want to be friends with you. You're crying on the second day of school. Like, no.
I think that if people knew what had happened, people would have a little bit more understanding versus you just randomly crying. So, but you got through your freshman year. I think her grades were still exceptionally good, but that was probably your worst year for your grades. Still A B, and I think after that she was like all A's. Your sophomore year, how was that?
It was good until after New York.
Her sophomore year. Well, tell us about New York. What was New York?
So,
Because nobody knows what happened in New York.
every 4 years, our school goes to Carnegie Hall. And so I got to play. It was only 4 high school groups out of the nation. And it was our band, our orchestra, another school band in Florida, and another orchestra in Texas, I think. All of them were good except the other orchestra. They were not good at all. But we went there. We were there for about 3 or 4 days.
She's missing part of it. She got to play in the band and the orchestra. She played the oboe and the violin. Okay, go ahead.
I thought I said that. Sorry. We were there for 3 or 4 days. Empire State Building, Radio City Music Hall. What's it called? Central Park. Subway, like the subway.
I went. I didn't get to ride on the subway. I'm so sad.
I'd rather went on the subway than the Central Park. It was so ugly. It was. I didn't even know we went to Central Park. I had to ask. They were like, I was like, that was Central Park. It was so bad.
And no, Central Park is huge. It's a nice park.
It's because we weren't in the winter, so it looked awful. It was really
technically
bad.
it wasn't the winter. It was like the spring, getting ready to go into spring.
It
No,
was
maybe it was
March.
winter. Yeah,
It
it
was
was
beginning
winter.
of March. It was so bad. It was everything was dead, and they showed us the Stuart Little Pond, and I was like, oh, it was just dry and empty. No, not one drop of water was in that pond. It looked. I was like, this is nasty.
New York, I love New York.
It just smelled like.
Not in the everything smelled like marijuana out there.
Because they had those trucks.
Yeah, they had trucks, marijuana trucks everywhere. But New York, it's not for everybody. So if you're into nature, it's not into nature. Because one thing that I noticed when we were there, there was no grass except for Central Park. Like there's nothing. Like, and that is strange to me because it's like people are playing soccer, and they're just playing on turf because there's no grass unless they're at Central Park. But I love it because I loved being able to just be in the city and just walk everywhere. I don't do the winters. I couldn't do the winters there though. But anyway, Central Park to me wasn't that bad. And what else happened?
That's it. We went back home.
No, what about your yacht?
Oh, after we performed at Carnegie, they got us like a party boat kind of thing. I've never been on a boat before, and I was like, I'm gonna be seasick. I'm so scared. And we went on when we first got on the boat, we went down into we went under we went to like under this part and then to the very back, and I was like, this is the worst part to be in if you've never been on a boat. That's where we had the food. And then so it was 2 groups, some other group was there, I don't know why they were there. And so they were on the upper level. And so they're like, okay, guys, if you want, you can go up to the very top to look out. And we're like, okay. And so we go back down, thinking we're going back to our place. And we're going there like, who are these people? We're like, oh, this is not the right room. But they were all having a party. It was fun in there. We go downstairs to ours. It's all boring. Everybody's sitting down. Nobody on the dance floor and everything. I was like, y'all want to go back up? So we went back up to the other people who are. And then most of our group went up to the upstairs one because our downstairs was so boring.
So y'all crashed somebody else's party?
Yeah, there was another school. They had no problem with it. And then so we were on the boat. They were like, everybody go outside on the upper level so you can see the Statue of Liberty. Statue of Liberty is so small. Everything there is so small. Statue of Liberty is small. Everybody leaning in with their cameras trying to do it.
She's just been in Texas too long. You know how they say everything's
the
bigger in
ball
Texas?
is small. The countdown ball is small.
Yeah, the
I'm
TV
like,
does
that's
make
what-
it look bigger than what it.
That ball was this big.
That
It
ball
was so small.
It was a little smaller than I was expecting
We're
when I
like,
saw
that's
it.
not. That can't be the ball. It was so small.
It does look a little smaller than what we see on TV.
Statue of Liberty does.
So, needless to say,
Empire State Building looked big. Well, I didn't see it during the day, so I don't know how big it was. But man, I know I was in that elevator forever. Jeez Louise, they had a whole presentation in the elevator to keep you entertained because you're gonna be in the elevator forever, waiting to go up to the top. And they did everything on the work. So when we had to get to the airport like at 3:00 in the morning. And then when we get there, we got there at 3:00 in the morning, and then we get there in New York, and then there's some guy. He has a little pink umbrella, so we know it's our tour guide. And we take a bus because we flew into New Jersey, and then we take a bus to New York, and then we put our stuff down, and then I don't know. I think we get something to eat or something. I don't know. Then we have a whole private tour of Radio City Music Hall. And then late at night, it's cold. Before we go to Radio City Music Hall, when we first leave, we go to where they had Elf and they had the ice skating. We went there. And then later in the day, we went to Radio City Music Hall. Oh, I forgot we saw a Broadway play there too.
What play?
Chicago. But later, then we go to Radio City Music Hall, have the tour. And then late at night, they're like, let's go to Empire State Building. No, we have to wake up at like 6:00 in the morning the next day. So late at night, we're at Empire State Building. It's freezing. No, we're from Texas. It's freezing. We're up in the sky. They're like, everybody's go outside. It's cold, and the wind is blowing hard. My friend's like, it was bad. And then we had to wake up early the next day.
Overall, how was your trip?
It was fine. I think my favorite part was the party boat. That was so fun. You saw people, you're like, wow, I never knew they acted like that. They're so reserved most of the time. Yeah, the boat was very fun.
I went, my husband, me, my mom, and her godmothers, and my brother and his wife. They all came to support her, and so we got to do like a tour of New York, and I love that we got to eat some New York pizza, and we went to, it's a famous cake place out there. I can't remember.
Carlos Bakery? That's New Jersey though. The original is Hoboken, New Jersey. But they have one in like.
Was that it? I don't know. We went to one of the famous dessert places.
Did you go to Snippers?
No.
Oh, it's down the street.
But I thoroughly enjoyed it. The only thing I did not like was our hotel room. So I can honestly say, being in the South, the hotel rooms were a lot bigger. And so when I went out there, I was not expecting our room to be as tight as it was. But nonetheless, everybody was nice. The tour was nice. So what happened when we got back from New York?
Spring break.
Before spring break.
We got back on Friday.
No, y'all got back Thursday, and you had to go back to school Friday.
Yeah. Yeah, and all people didn't show up.
Yeah, so they got back Thursday before
night.
Spring break.
Like at midnight.
They had to go to school Friday before spring break. That Friday, Dallas schools shut everything down
It wasn't that Friday.
Mm-hmm.
It was the Monday, cause we were at school on Friday.
Right. I'm
And
talking
they were
about
like,
they shut down all the after school activities. They say
oh,
anybody else
yeah, after school
all the
activities.
after school, so they had to finish that school day, go to all the after, and they had no after school activities, and then go to spring break.
And they were like, on Friday they were like, guys, just prepare. We may not come back. We may not come back after spring break. And everybody's like, yeah. And I was like, I want to come back to school.
Why did you want to come back?
Because I liked being at school.
Yeah. What happened though? So basically, long story short, because of COVID hit, everything shut down, completely shut down. So they went on this trip. They made it right back because I think as soon as they got back, I think New York shut down, and then in Texas, all the schools and stuff shut down right before spring break. So they didn't come back, and she had a couple of senior friends that she couldn't even say goodbye to because it just was, you don't come back. So this was her sophomore year. And so how was life in general during the pandemic for you?
Boring. It was boring.
Why is that?
You just sit in the house all day. April was the longest month in the world. April felt so long. May didn't
You
feel.
talking about April, the first April? Like the first April, like in 2020, not 2021?
Yeah.
Okay.
April felt so long. Oh my goodness. May didn't feel long. June didn't feel long. April felt so long.
What made it long?
I don't know. Because March didn't feel long either.
Well, March, half the time you're in school.
Well, we stopped in the middle of the month.
Right,
That's when
so
everything stopped.
Right, but April, the whole month you were out.
April was so long. I was like, when is the month over? I remember looking at my calendar every day, and it felt so long. And then you have teachers confused.
I think it was rough for everybody because teachers had to kind of do everything online, and I think it was even more difficult for specific subjects in specific age groups. So like people that had like kindergartners and very young elementary school kids, that was rough. Teachers that had stuff like science classes where you have labs, that was rough. And then she's out of performing arts school, so everything is done in groups.
Those dancers did it. They did it over Zoom.
Yeah, that's very difficult.
And
Somebody got a little apartment.
Yeah, and then junior year, they had the boxes.
What boxes?
You remember that? The dancers had to dance in boxes junior year. They had to have their mask on and dance in boxes.
These teachers had to be creative because so that you guys went back to school her junior year, but it was
hybrid.
Yeah, so
hybrid at first, and then they were like, you can come in all if you want all the time. But
yeah, so it was like she went into school 2 days a week, and she basically went in for her music classes, which was because it's hard to have an orchestra or a band in a Zoom like where everybody's trying to play. It's just not the same, especially when people's internet was spotty and the system was shutting down, and it was just chaotic. But they had to wear masks. So when you're wearing a mask playing a violin, that's nothing. But
band, we had so in orchestra we just had our mask on and we were social distance. We had to sit in like these squares, right? Band, we had to go outside across the street to the AT&T Center. Then we had to spread out, be 6 feet apart.
And it was kind of cool. And it was kind of cool outside. And
then we went through like 3 or 4 different masks. I just pulled it out of my case because I gave him back my instrument. All my different masks. So we had our first mask. Well, I think a parent made them. They were a white mask, and somebody got some scissors and cut a hole in them. That was our first mask. He said, "Okay, guys, I'm waiting."
So they had to be able to put the instrument in their mouth for all the wind and brass instruments. But what about the other part? The other part of the thing.
Tell them about all the masks.
Okay, go ahead.
And the next mask, it was like 2 pieces of fabric. So you had to open it up, and then it closes back up. And my little tiny reed, it was struggling. And then you had the other mask where it's just like a hole. They sewed like a hole, and so you have a mask, and they had a little flap. So like when we were sitting, the people, the trumpet players would be bored and they'd be blowing their flap, and they'd be sitting there like that, and it's just like a hole and a flap.
But what about your instrument? Your instrument had to have a mask too.
Oh yeah, we had little bonnets. So the bell part where like
She
where
plays
it's,
the
like,
oboe.
where it flares out. We had like little They look like little like bonnets for real. And so we had to put on the bell and had to sit. And so my instrument, it has like one of the smallest bells out of all the instruments. So my bonnet used to fall off my oboe all the time. And so like
I just remember when you came home and you were like, because I was like, how in the world are you going to play your oboe and wear a mask? And so when you came home and you were like, my oboe has a shower cap.
Yeah.
I was like, what? She's like, my oboe has a shower cap.
and I put it on.
You had to be
Still have to.
creative. You had to do what you had to do. So
But I feel like there was no point to do all of that. We could, if we're already separated outside. What was the point of the one flap mask? Like, what was the point of that? Especially the slit one.
they had to do what they had to do. They were trying to keep everybody as protected as they could. They were doing whatever they felt that was gonna help. So, and then we come to the senior year.
Yeah, I didn't really do much anything junior year. When I went to school, I didn't really do much. At a certain point, a lot of people started dropping out and like not coming to school, just staying home because there was no point of being in school. They just didn't really take attendance. It was just like, let me see.
It was hard because the teacher got students in class and students on the camera.
Mr. Snitcher did not even do virtual band. He was like,
because it's really like, what is the point?
Jacko was like, please show up to class. Hey, okay, we're gonna be I was like, and Jacko will have the camera, the thing out there watching us. How are they gonna learn from watching us play? There was no point of that. And so first period was band or orchestra. So some days I had band, some days I had orchestra. First period. Second period, I don't know what I had second period.
I don't know.
Second period, I had a free period. Third period, I had a free period. And then fourth period, I had music business, which was basically a free period because my teacher was never there. That was my whole day. And I had flex, and I was always with Mr. Snitzer before he left. I went in the morning as well as with Mr. Snitzer before he left.
And then, like clubs, like all this stuff, like you need like to socialize, like your clubs and your different groups and all. I mean, like you couldn't do anything.
Our flex, we talked to our flex every day.
The people that came, that's like.
Oh yeah.
So anyway, so your senior year, now we're in our senior year, and I tried to warn her to have a lighter load on herself because I know senior year is gonna have everything.
I basically did because my teacher got suspended, so I basically did have a lighter load.
She took AP Calculus,
didn't do nothing else.
AP Literature,
Yeah.
AP Psychology. It's 3 AP classes she took. And she only needed English. She didn't need any more maths. She didn't need psychology. All she had to do was 2 or 3 music classes, because she has to do that because that's the school she's in. And her English. She needed her 4th English.
Okay.
That's it.
Can I explain my reasoning behind all this?
It doesn't matter. I want you to explain
my reasoning?
how.
I want to explain my reasoning though.
Okay, go ahead.
They're gonna think
that you're an overachiever. You are.
No, because I took those classes. So I could look better for college. But you see how that happened. Nobody wants me. But anyway.
No. Okay, let's not go there. So the reason she's saying that is Brianna has a 3.8 GPA and a 4.1. One weighted and one unweighted. I don't know which way is what. That's her GPA. Brianna, her senior year, got to be concertmaster. Share the concertmaster position with her and one other senior with the violin. Okay? She has had 3 college credits: economics, U.S. government,
calculus, pre-cal,
and pre-cal. So she has 3 college classes completed already. And we're not understanding with her GPA alone, why is it that she only got $5,000 for one school?
Out of all 27.
So she applied and she got into like 15 schools. And so yes, the schools that are out of state, like one of the schools gave her like 14 or 20 something $1,000, but basically covered the in-state, out-of-state tuition difference. That's it. And it's like, why is it like she busted her butt? Like even with the between her sophomore and junior year, I mean her sophomore and senior year, she may have gotten 1 or 2 B's in the class on a semester. Not for the whole year. I'm talking about in the class. And then her freshman year, which was the worst year for her, I think she might have had 2 B's.
Because it was geometry and Miss Metz.
So that's her GPA, but yet she only has $5,000 in scholarships at the school that she going to. Makes absolutely no sense, and it's so frustrating to her. Like I'm trying to ration and reason with her. It doesn't make sense to me either, because she busted her butt for her GPA to be what it is. Even in the pandemic, where she was saying people were dropping out, not showing, but this one here was showing up to every class on Zoom or in person, whatever it was. So,
but my GPA stayed the same. I don't get it, because I was getting hundreds in my classes in junior year, and my GPA has stayed the same. Since
because it's still an A. They're gonna look at it as an AA. It just
okay. But so I took those 3 AP classes to look good for college, which was no point. So for one AP class, my teacher got suspended like halfway through the year, so that was basically a free period. My other AP class, we didn't really do anything till the second half of the year. You want to start giving us stuff. And my other AP class, she taught us literally nothing. She sat at her computer and watched videos the whole class period. She didn't talk to us. So she just said, you have a test coming up. That's all she told us. So that's really what happened in my 3 AP classes. So I didn't do. I was gonna
she did do something, because you would come home, especially in your psychology class. Because I told her, I said, psychology is gonna be a lot of work.
That was the beginning of the year.
But it's still part. It's still part of your. And she went and got suspended. You've been doing it a whole year. On top of anybody who's graduated high school knows senior year you're fully loaded. So it's top of trying to apply to colleges, apply to scholarships, all that kind of stuff that you're doing. You know,
I did it.
Yeah, you did it. And on top of that, now like the senior activities are coming up, which her stuff. Like I think our senior activity was we went to grad night. That's it.
Which was
in
lot
Florida.
Better than what ours is.
It was in Florida, so we went to grad night. They have senior picnics. They have a senior pool party.
Yeah, picnic.
Don't they have? A barbecue. Excuse me.
Oh, yeah.
They have a barbecue. They're having a pool party. They get to play volleyball against teachers or whatever.
Yeah, teachers volleyball.
And then what the PTA does is they gave them because they had to come in to AP and for the AP test and come in like 6 in the morning or 7 in the morning, and so the PTA had breakfast for them, so they got a lot of stuff that they had.
That's not just
on top of Brianna has done in the past 2 weeks, she's done 2 plays and an opera. 2 plays and an opera. On top of, she has the mariachi band that she joined this year, and they've had several competitions.
The concerts are the music concerts that we've been having. Flying horse, grand concerts, spring.
Now, don't get me wrong, their performances are good, but she lives at the school.
Yeah, but another reason why I didn't take other classes, because most of the music classes are boring, and I wanted to take theater classes, but they said I can't take it right now. So that's why I took other academic classes, because I'm like,
she's been kind of wanting to dive into theater.
Those music classes are boring. Like music appreciation, that's boring. But pedagogy, that's one. And I could have, I just would have had free periods. I guess I would have took I would have been like Matthew. Matthew had 5,000 free periods last year. I wanted to do an internship. I wanted to do that.
You could have used that time to do your college stuff. But not
Yeah.
lesson learned.
That's why I changed my schedule second semester.
Lesson learned. She's done it. She's had a full load. How has it been for you this? And I want you to be honest. This past, I would say, the past 3 months of school. How has it been?
3 months. That's March. I don't even remember anything that happened in March. Oh, that's probably the spring classics. That was fine. I was like, okay, March. And I was like, oh, that's literally all I was doing. I was like, I don't even remember what happened in March, anything. I remember April. I was like, okay, guys, April we have like four-day weeks, so that's gonna go by quick. And then May's our last month, and we'll be done, guys. We're like 20 days, like that's it. So it's like April. That was basically nothing. We didn't really do much April, cause
She did.
what do we do?
Because
we had shows.
Exactly. So she had four weekdays. 3 of the weeks were 4 weekdays, but she was still at the school on the 5th day because she had rehearsals and shows that she had to prepare for.
And then I had the mariachi the day after. But academically, we didn't do anything. They were like, oh, your AP test is coming. Sorry, your teacher suspended. Sorry, your teacher didn't teach you nothing. Sorry.
My point is that
unless you have to pay $40.
My point is that did you have time to sit and breathe?
Yeah, during April, the other 2 4-day weeks, I did have time. The 4-day, the last one I didn't. I was like, man, I wish I kind of had a break. But that last one I didn't. I was at school playing. That's not that bad. It's like
playing what?
I was playing for the musical.
Okay.
That wasn't bad.
She loves playing for musicals and operas. If you can just see her face light up when she's playing. I think the last one was there was an opera that one of her old teachers had written, and they have a section on there. It's called Party.
The party scene.
Yeah, the party scene. And the young lady Nina who was singing the opera sound great. But it was just so funny because Brianna's been home singing this song. I didn't know what the heck she was talking about. So we get there and then they start beating on the thing and I'm like, oh, this is the song Brianna's been talking about. And I see Brianna on the stage playing just
because it's like
and it's so funny because she's so into it, but then her teacher, he's so into it, so his back is to us and he's up there. He's
making faces and singing. He's like
so, but it's just great to see her.
It's a party scene. You're supposed to be moving like to it, and they have the cups.
Not everybody was up there. The actors were, but not everybody playing.
Cups.
Not everybody playing in the orchestra was jamming the way that she was, and the conductor. But even when she did the other plays and they're not like upbeat stuff, you can tell when Brianna plays because it's a song that she has to play versus a song that she really likes. You can tell it.
Like what play?
Like the one I just talked about.
Oh, I thought you said we were talking about another one.
No, I'm just saying a song, period. So how do you feel now that you're getting ready to go off to college?
I need money. I need money.
She needs money. So if anybody can tell me and help us figure out how we have been applying to scholarships and it's so hard now. Like back in the day when I applied to college scholarships, you go to the counselor and there's like a list of scholarships and you just kind of go and apply. Now it's like she's been to some of these places. It's almost like you like thinking like, is it a scam or something? Because it's like she goes in there and you go to the website and then they send you to this other website. You go ahead and they send you, and it's like you're sitting all over the place and you're just like constantly putting your information.
Or you barely put anything in. They're like, okay, you're done. And you're like, yep, am I really done? They're like, it's been submitted. You're in the running. And you're like, is it really? That's what I be thinking for a lot of them. I'm like, am I really done? That doesn't seem like right.
And even her godmother has paid for her what was the name of the PACE?
Yeah, PACE.
PACE scholarship class that she has done in the book, and so she's applying to them, but it's
Two
like
big scholarships, one this big and one.
And it's like you feel like you're not getting anywhere.
Yeah.
So if anybody knows and then she has $1,000 scholarship from Stevie Ray Vaughan that she got in middle school. To help her out, but she still need another $20,000 a year.
More than that, it's 27, and I have 6.
So she need 21,000 a year
and change. Well, because it's 27.
to make it. Otherwise, I don't know what we're gonna do because I can't take out any more student loans because I owe a house in student loans myself. Like I can't even afford the interest rate on my student loans. Like when I pay my bill, it's not even half of the interest rate. So therefore, all it does is increase. What can you do with that? And I don't want that for her. So what can we do? How can you graduate high school with a 3.8/4.1 GPA and not have a significant amount of scholarships? Can someone please let me know?
And I've done appeal letters, but it just seems like the college I'm applying for makes it seem like they don't want you to send appeal letters because you look for emails and you can't find any emails to send it to. How do you not have a financial aid email? How does that work?
I don't know.
And it's the financial aid email is a computer. How is that working? Like that, it makes it seem like, well, we're not trying to give you no more money. Like I'm trying. Like, I don't know what else I need to do. I need money, and I don't.
If anybody have any suggestions, please. I'm really considering starting a GoFundMe to help her fund her stuff and have her do like a Zoom concert and have her play to see if she can raise money for her college tuition so she can major in music. She wants to do music education. So she's gotten into school music education and they said, we really want you.
But don't give me nothing.
But they didn't give her one penny. And they've given her she got one scholarship there that has nothing to do with grades or music.
I asked to apply for one thing and my audition was under 4 things and I didn't even get into the thing. I got into 2 of the things I didn't even apply for.
That's all right though, because
and they're like, oh, you applied? Or I'm like, I haven't heard. Oh, you got in though. They on the other app it says you got in for what you applied for. And you call the school. Oh, you didn't get in for that. You got in for something else. And then the other part of the school is saying, not telling me anything. My teacher, nothing. The other school's like, oh yeah, you got in, but we're not giving you money. So I don't know what's going on with them.
Well, thank God, her high school orchestra teacher now, Dr. Jacko, has helped her a lot. He's talked to people and he's been helping her a lot with this and trying to get things together. It's strange. Some of the stuff, like I got an email one day saying I got accepted to this school, and I'm like, I didn't apply to this school. It's not the school that she's attending. It's another one. And I said, I did not apply to this school. And then I called the school. And they were like, I said, no, my daughter applied to the school. Oh, okay, we're so sorry. We're going to switch it over. They so-called switched it over. And then somehow it got switched right back.
And then we got packages. Oh, congratulations, Tamara. Here's like merchandise for the school and everything.
Like, I don't know if it's like some kind of flag on her neck. And then like the other school where you got, it's called, the school got her name as F something or something.
Oh, yeah, I applied to the school. And it's all the emails say, hi, FNU, blah, 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 blah. And I called the school, because when you call the school, they only ask for your number. They ask for your ID number. They don't ask for your name. So I'm like, I called them, and I'm like, hey. They're like, what's your number? And I was like, yeah. They're like, what's your name? I said, Brianna Warner. They're like, I was like, because y'all have me as FNU. They're like, oh, yeah, we do have you as FNU. And I'm like, so can you change that? They're like, you're going to have to apply all over again. I said, I'm going to have to apply all over again for you putting my name as FNU. How'd you get that? How did you get FNU? And I was like, maybe it was a mistake. Because it was before they said, oh, you didn't get in. And now I keep getting emails, hi FNU, hi FNU, hi FNU. And I'm like, can you change that? And I don't know.
And that's our life. So anyway, again, any suggestions? If anybody can think that if it would be great to have like a Zoom concert of Brianna playing to help raise money for her music education, that will help her pay for her college, If anybody thinks that's a great idea, please let me know, and I will try to get it set up. Oh, because Brianna has a job now too, so we will fit it in the schedule and do what we got to do, because we need to have another $27,000.
It's actually putting me 92 after 4 years. It's 92,000.
Yeah, well, hopefully we'll keep applying and somehow you'll get scholarships more. I don't know. You might have to. I don't know. Anyway. That is our time. I'm so happy that you came on with me, to talk about kind of your high school years. And we were trying to do other videos together, and we just couldn't even get the show time. Just our schedules are all over the place between me and the 9-month-old and her 1,001 things going on. It was hard. So thank you for joining us for another episode of It's Okay with Tam Tam. Please remember to follow our Facebook page, It's Okay with Tam Tam, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. And again, we will not be on for the next 2 weeks because she has shows and stuff coming up, and award shows and stuff that I will be attending. I am not missing this. Like, I have been with her. I am not going to be missing any of her stuff. So have a great evening.